Spirit. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Now this is how the birth of Jesus Christ came about. When his mother Mary was betrothed to Joseph, but before they lived together, she was found with child through the Holy Spirit. Joseph, her husband, an upright man, decided not to expose her to the law, but decided to divorce her quietly. Such was his intention when, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to him and said, Joseph, son of David, have no fear of taking Mary, your wife, into your home, for it is through the Holy Spirit that this child has been conceived. She will bear a son, and you will name him Jesus, because he will save his people and set them free from sin. Now all this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son. They shall name him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. When Joseph awoke, he did as the angel of the Lord had commanded him, and took Mary as his wife into his home. The Gospel of the Lord. Two quick biblical points and a thought. We just heard Matthew's version of the birth of Jesus Christ. When you come to Mass on Christmas, we will hear Luke's version. And if you notice in Matthew, there's no mention of a census, of a journey to Bethlehem, of a stable, manger, animals, shepherds, any of those things. We will find those only in Luke. Matthew's not concerned about those details. And in Luke, Mary is the important figure. In Matthew, Joseph is the important figure. Why? Remember, Matthew writes his gospel in about the year 85, addressed to Jewish people in present-day Damascus, Syria, who believe that Jesus is the Messiah. And so his gospel is constantly going to be pointing to Old Testament prophecies to show that Jesus is the fulfillment of them. And furthermore, the prophecy was that the Messiah had to be a descendant of David. And Mary is not a descendant of David, but Joseph is. And so he becomes the central figure in Matthew's story. There's an interesting line in here. It says, Joseph, an upright man, unwilling to expose her to the law, decided to divorce her quietly. What was the law? The law was that if a woman became pregnant before marriage, she was to be taken to the door of her father's house, and there her father and her brothers would stone her to death. It sounds abhorrent to you and me, but some of that is still going on in the world today. And is it not always interesting? It is only the woman who is at fault. There's no retribution for the man. When we look at some of these laws, we have to realize that many of them are man-made and they have nothing to do with God whatsoever. And I'm convinced that the people who write these laws and then so rigidly want to enforce them and impose them upon others, and I don't mean this particular law, but so many of the laws of religion, I'm convinced that they are people who have never been broken. They don't know what pain is. They don't know what it is to get to a point in life where you say, my God, why have you abandoned me? And ironically, those moments of pain and brokenness are the moments when we most deeply can encounter our God. And then we emerge from them, not as people rigidly imposing laws, but as people filled with mercy, forgiveness, and healing. In other words, people who know the mind of Jesus Christ. Amen.